I don't know how to dress to impress, but I'm impressing with my bench pressing. I eat people like you for breakfast because I pack a mean punch. I just made 10 grand before lunch. I just shaved my head. Now people think I look like a Nazi. I take so many selfies. I'm my own paparazzi. This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions today for the Power Project. Brought to you by HowMuchYouBench.net, the Slingshot, and the only strength magazine in the world, thepowermagazine.com, and from the makers of NO Explode, BSN. We have some awesome questions to get to today that were on the Twitters. Yes, I have a Twitters account. It is Mark Smelly Bell, at Mark Smelly Bell. So hit me up on there. I'm answering questions for the Power Project on there, as well as on the YouTubes and everywhere else. Remember, if you're not watching the Power Project, then you have no life. And if you are watching the Power Project, then you have no life. It is official. The first question we need to get to is the most important question that was asked in the entire thread. And it's quite confusing of a question, and I've really never been stumped like this before in all my years of strength training and all my years as a coach and somebody who gets up in front of people and does lectures and so on. This one really baffled me in a good way, more so than any other question I've ever had in my life. It's important to get to the important stuff right away. Super duper important. So this question is, would you rather fight 50 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? Now, holy shit, is this a loaded question. I mean, could you imagine 50 horses that were the size of a duck? That's like a small army, and that actually quite frightens me. Things that are small and things that move quickly scare the crap out of me. So I'm not a fan of going that route. Plus, ducks, they shit a lot. So if it's 50 horses that are duck-sized and they shit like a horse and a duck, then we might have some severe problems. I just spit all over the camera. Also, I've never seen a duck the size of a horse before either. And I don't know, I don't know what I would do against that horse duck other than just to try to do what I've always done. And that's run away from my problems. Run away from a good challenge. I mean, that just whoever came up with that question, Von Krause or whatever your name is, you are a sick bastard. But I will tell you that I would rather fight the big giant duck more so than anything else. The major problem here, though, is that ducks are pissed off. I remember when I was a kid, I used to feed them bread, and they used to get all mad. It's like, I'm trying to feed you, dude. What are you so angry about? But those things used to chase me around and shit. Anyway, we have another question to get to, and this was brought up on the Twitters as well. And the guy says he wants to get stronger, but doesn't want to, or he wants to get stronger, and he feels maybe he's got to let his waistline go a little bit. Now, there is some truth to that. But always remember, you're going to go through different stages in your lifting career. And think of it as a career, and think of yourself as a professional. That's what you people need to start doing. Listeners of the Power Project, strength athletes around the world, you need to treat yourself like a professional. You ever watch a pro football game and the guy pulls his ham and he's holding his hamstring, he gets to the sidelines, and what do? They got like 3 or 4 people working on him right away. You may not have 3 or 4 people lining up to work on you right away for free, but there are some solutions. You can do what is called mashing, which is on Mobility WOD. Jesse Burdick and myself have done it to many people at seminars before. You can look it up. Basically, you just have a lifting partner, no homo. You may say no homo. We say no hetero at Super Training Gym. Just have somebody lay on the ground and have them dig their heel into your hamstring for a little while. And it doesn't have to be that awkward or that weird. It can just be that simple. They can dig their elbow in there if you want to get real personal. Treat yourself like a professional. And that means you need to sleep, you need to eat, and you need to train your ass off. You need to make sure those three things are intact. If you want to be ripped, tan, vascular, jacked, and strong as a motherfucker, then you're going to have to put in the work for it. That is the most common denominator in all of this. That is the biggest part of the recipe for success that I hear over and over and over again. In talking with Mike O'Hearn and talking to Stan Efferding today on the Powercast. Again, appreciate all the hundreds of thousands of downloads of the Powercast. It's been quite overwhelming. Let's keep that rolling. Thank you so much. But Stan Efferding, all he kept going back to today, and it's almost like, oh, you start to get bored after a while. You're like, is this dude going to say anything else? Is this guy going to give me some sort of magical tip of some sort? Magical tip. I bet Stan Efferding would like to give a magical tip. Anyway, let's avoid saying it that way. You're thinking like this guy's going to give me some little nugget, some little gold nugget that I can keep in my pocket and that I can use whenever I need to deadlift 793 without a belt, or deadlift 837, or total 2303, or do all these magnificent things that the Rhino has done. But the truth of it is, it's going to be consistency. And it's not going to take you 1 year. It's not going to take you 2 years. It's going to take you a long time to get to where you want to go to. That's pretty loud. That's a choo-choo-choo. But whether it be Stan Efferding, whether it be Dan Green, whether it be myself, whether it be whoever, you got to realize that we've been at it for a long time. Decades in most cases. I have been training since I was 12 years old. I'm 36. You do the math on that. That's a long time to be training, and it's going to take a lot of consistency on your part, being consistently consistent, constantly consistent, however you want to put it. You're going to have to be on top of it 24/7, and that's what it's going to take. It's going to take not just you training in the gym. It cannot end with you just training in the gym for an hour or 2 hours. That's not the end of it. You want to be great, you want to be different, you're going to have to think different. You're going to have to train different. You're going to have to be a little bit different than everybody else. So when people go and they want to get together and they want to have a picnic and they want to eat sandwiches and shit like that, you're going to have to bring some Tupperware with some rice and some steak and whatever the hell other types of boring foods you can throw in there. But I highly recommend, there's also some questions about carb night and carb backloading. Again, I'm not a fan of carb backloading. I am a fan of Kiefer. I do believe he knows what he's talking about, and I do believe that if you follow the information in his book, that you can have success with it. I personally am just not a fan of it. I'm a fan of carb night. And carb night is a great, quick way to lose body fat and to lose weight rapidly. However, if you want to gain strength and you want to gain muscle, you want to try to gain muscle, gain some strength, and stay lean, or even in some cases get leaner. This is what I've been doing over the last couple months. I'm about to do a 562 bench and stick it right in everybody's face, or at least a 551 at 242. And the way I've been able to do that, and I'm pretty ripped up. Let's see what we got here. There we go. That's not bad for just standing here, being all shredded, being all jacked and tan. The point is that you're going to have to be on top of it 24/7, 24 hours a day. You're going to have to eat properly. And what I've been doing is a bodybuilding style diet. I'm eating 6 or 7 times a day, carbs, fats, and proteins with every single meal. The fats are limited. The fats are fairly low. The carbohydrates are high. I actually eat more carbohydrates than I do protein, if you can believe that. It's about 1-to-1-ish though. But what I would suggest to a lot of you guys out there, just looking at some simple bodybuilding diets, if you're looking for exact numbers and exact digits on some of this stuff, I would just go about 1 pound per body weight, a pound of body weight per gram of carbs, per gram of protein, somewhere in that neighborhood, and keep your fat content about a quarter of that, whatever that equals out to be. That's just really, really rough numbers. You're going to want to try to break it down to a little bit more of an exact science for you, for your body type. But also, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the fact that carbohydrates are evil. Carbohydrates can help you to maintain muscle mass and to even gain muscle mass. And fats aren't evil either. So you're going to need all three of those macronutrients, fats, carbs, and protein, in order to move forward, in order to continue and make progress, over a long period of time. You have to fuel your system over and over and over again. 6 meals every single day, 7 days a week. It never stops. You want to be ripped. You want to not have a waistline. You want to be strong. That's what it's going to take. There's no secret to it. It's just going to be hard work and consistency. A lot of people have done it before, so it's not like no one's ever done it before. Stan Efferding was kind of the blueprint for it. Now you're seeing other guys start to do it. Dan Green is just an unbelievable, freakish athlete who, if he decided to go into bodybuilding, would do some serious damage, I believe. So there's your tips for the Power Project. Remember, strength is never a weakness. I got to go eat some sushi. I'm running low on fuel right now. Remember, strength is never a weakness, and that is it from supertraining.tv.